Let's head out west, across the Atlantic to the United States, Brooklyn to be exact, a musical director and drummer who's worked with the likes of Kanye West, Run DMC, John Legend, Sir Elton John and Snoop Dogg. It goes on and on and on. Welcome, Swiss Chris.
How you doing? How you guys feeling out there?
We're good, we're rocking and rolling. And how is Brooklyn today?
Oh, it's beautiful. The weather is nice, and it's a really beautiful fall. Like I hear autumn leaves, the standard in my ears, like that song that everybody hears 100 times. So yeah, like it's beautiful weather, and yeah, the weather is good.
A lot of friends know it's one of my favorite places. What is it about buying a hot dog from a vendor on the corner of the street? There's something about it. I don't know what it is.
If you get the good cook, oh my God, they're going to spice it the right way, and it's going to be a different flavor because you never know where the guy's culture is from. It's a fusion of cultures here in Brooklyn. So he might spice it with some Indian spice. He might spice it with some Jamaican spice. But I think it's not just the hot dog. I think it's the spice and the love the person puts into their food.
Last time we talked, you just launched an album and a drum tuition book called Stickings, all about stickies with sticky charts and audio files. Tell us all about the book and why you inspired to write it.
Chapter 10 of my book, Modern Drum Set Stickings, Making Swiss Cheese. First, I'll take a paradiddle. Para, singles, diddle, right, two rights or two lefts.
Looking back, it sold a couple thousand units. It got nominated as Best Educational. But Neil Peart's book won, which is totally great. Big up to Neil Peart.
Flamadiddle. Dragadiddle. And flamjackers is cheese.
But like my book came in the Modern Drummer Reader's Poll as number 2. This is called the Modern Drum Set Stickings.
We're gonna put in a musical context.
Cooks use water, drummers use stickings. The difference is your own spice, my own, our own ornaments, our own flavor of expression of those stickings. Does that make sense?
Fantastic. I'm relating back to the hot dog with the spices, which is great. Yes. So, dexterity, I'm quite fascinated by dexterity. I mean, with drummers, there's often a big emphasis on the left or the right hand leading with accents. Can you name some players as examples?
I was influenced by drummers that go both ways, like with the Simon Phillips, who was influenced by Billy Cobham. So right hand lead or left hand lead. So building a dexterity, either matched grip or traditional grip, it's interesting how dynamics play in the dexterity. How low you stroke is how high you stroke. And independence is a beautiful feeling to use all 4 limbs. Think about it. You're behind this cockpit and you're having fun using all your limbs. Yeah, dexterity is wonderful. I think it's great for us drummers. It's a little bit different because we use feet too. Literally, the book this is open for any right hand, left hand lead, both hands.
You are in demand as a first call session drummer, music director for a lot of artists. Are you still as busy in these troubled times?
Recording is important, and as a session guy, a lot of times you come in and you don't know what to do, and at the end it might only be 2 bars that are used, but the 2 bars that you played are getting looped over and over. Like I could say, for instance, Bring Back the Music by Jennifer Hudson was one of the last recordings I did that were more famous. Or Jay Irie, this amazing poet who is up for a Grammy nomination for his new album. Like an amazing artist from Chicago who worked with Jay-Z and Kanye West and people like that.
Tears falling on the page, cause I love y'all, all y'all. I see our potential, our purpose, our worth is measured by what we do for others.
Jay Ivey is the guy that was one of the first poetry slam guys. So I'm happy and humbled that some amazing artists are asking me to be on the record, collaborations. But my main focus, beside recording and working on some stuff and being and directing, is teaching, doing private lessons, helping people to get into college, or helping people how to set up a hybrid kit.
Some great names in there, Chris, but let's just go back a few decades to the punk scene and hip-hop. They've always been big in the USA. Did these movements influence you growing up?
Oh, 100%. I think what influenced me was ska and punk, because those are brothers and sisters. Obviously, the Police influenced me. Stuart Copeland talking about playing and stickings and phrasing and all this stuff, and musicality and orchestration. So shout out to Stuart Copeland, one of my, my heroes. One of the first towns, Biel in Switzerland, that started doing hip-hop, breakdancing, Zulu Nation, Kraftwerk, sampling Kraftwerk. So, and the shout out to Zulu Nation, like education, music, the fifth element, which is knowledge. So if you have 4 elements of hip-hop, the fifth one is knowledge.
Who has inspired you, not only as a drummer, but also as a person?
Oh, there's many. You could say Gandhi or Eleanor Roosevelt with the Human Rights Proclamation. There's many writers, Carl Jung, everything inspired me. Looking at the globe inspired me, looking at different continents and looking at different continents' natural resources.
Changed the shape, became a Shonuff drum, and the beat grew more complex. The cadence was picked up, and different beats began to have different meanings. The expression grew into a more refined art form, percussion.
There's a lot of inspiration, but really who inspired me first was my grandmother, who had me wake up at 5 in the morning on Sunday morning, and I walked out there as a little kid with my drum, and I started playing Mu Woulda Hetsy Het, Mu Woulda Hetsy Het, and I literally was like, that was grandmother that taught me, following her verbal, vocal teaching, I had to copy what she was saying, and sometimes she was saying funny things that I don't want to repeat in Swiss German.
This is a journey into sound.
But we had a fun bond, so my grandmother influenced me, and Mother Nature. Obviously, that's the drums are very natural. It's air traveling through a cylinder. They're coming from a tree, come on, like what is more back to nature than a tree? This is the part of the brain that people forget. Everybody's up here intellectualizing everything. No. Go with your heart and believe your heart. I think that's the vibration I feel like. You feel it in your heart.
I was covering the She Rock Awards in Los Angeles earlier this year, and Gloria Gaynor was a guest performing her iconic anthem, I Will Survive, and you've also worked with her as well.
Gloria Gaynor, we did the 30-year anniversary, I Will Survive anniversary. And we went to South America, we went to Africa, we went to South Africa. We toured, we were in Good Morning America, and Gloria Gaynor is an amazing spiritual lady, and it's an honor and pleasure to have the chance to work for her for over 2 years.
I will survive. Survive.
Great answers and some big names there, Swiss. Also, you worked on John Legend's albums, I think 2 of them. What was it like working with him?
Oh, he's an amazing gentleman, amazing artist, and very creative. You know, So High was the first single, and I was able to play drums on that track with a sped up click. So it was like a ballad that got faster and then slowed down. And then the So High remix with Lauryn Hill, that was amazing, and we were able to perform that at the VMAs later. And then on the second record was Stereo and Safe Room. Both amazing tracks and both amazing collaborations. My experience touring the world with him twice and being at the Grammys twice and all the tours over all the continents was probably one of the best experiences I could have had in my life to help me prepare to become a better human, better teacher, better musician, you know, and so forth. So yes, I mean, working with John Legend was just an amazing experience.
Swiss Chris, thank you so much for wonderful comments, and it's so nice to have you on the Fusion Virtual World Tour. We'll speak to you soon.
Fusion is an amazing company, and the great thing is, if you look at it in the cymbal bag and the stick bag, they got this. This is what we drummers need. We put our sticks, brushes, and stuff in there. We hang it up on the floor tom. I already have one of those guys hanging here on my kit, and it's amazing how much fits in here. The cases are made, the backs are made really well. It's great craftsmanship, and it's got really a lot of compartments. Like looking at this guy, let me put it over there, and then looking at the stick bag, it's amazing. It's just amazing. I didn't even take the plastics off. I already went out with it a couple sessions, but I keep like those plastic things on because I feel like it's just came in new. Now this is amazing. It still smells good, and a lot of compartments, and it makes a lot of sense, and it's just done with a lot of care. So shout out to Fusion. Thanks for the opportunity to endorse such an amazing product.